Morning and welcome back to the channel. So today we're off to Hoghton Tower. Andy's just rolled up in his Quantum 2+2. I'm going in the XR2, which are both same base vehicles. First show of the season for us. Weather's a bit grey and dull, but it's not predicted any rain, so hopefully we'll have a dry day. I'll see you when we get there. First we have this lovely little Nissan Figaro, followed on by a TR4 in red. Absolute stunning car this was. Beautiful paintwork, lovely dashboard, real credit to the owner, really nicely well finished. I would love that. Nice chrome, really good car. Next that's a Mark IV Escort Estate and an Astra or an Opel Kadett GTE, which is the Astra version. Quite a rare car, another stunner in bright red. Unfortunately someone's put a modern engine in it, which I sort of get for reliability, but if you wanted originality it would probably be frowned on, but I would be more than happy having that with that engine in. It's really made it a dead usable car. The Escort here has just got the old pushrod Kent engine in, which is a brilliant little engine, run forever, well, they're just great engines. Next to that's a Mark V Escort Cabriolet, quite a clean looking car on a K plate, and then this was a stunning Mitsubishi Evo. What a lovely car this was. I had a good look at it earlier on. It was straight as a die, extremely well presented. This was a lovely Jetta as well, slightly modified with a splitter on the front and some fancy wheels, but really well executed. Credit to its owner, stunning car. As was the Mark I Golf GTI as well, in a dark metallic green. Absolute stunner. I've actually seen that before in the past. Also seen this Carmen Gear in this bronzy gold colour. Beautiful car that. This Beetle was a bit customised, had a metallic paint job. It was for sale for £9,000. Could have done with a little bit of titivating to personalise it to your best choice, but hey ho. Now this was a stunner, this Alfa Romeo. It just reminded me of the Italian job, which the police cars used to be in green, and it was absolutely beautiful, rot-free, cracking car. It must have been imported quite late on, probably 76, looking at the reg. This beautiful RS Cosworth Escort, absolutely stunning in black metallic with gold accents, quite a bit of carbon fibre underneath the engine bay, but what a stunning car, absolutely beautiful. Next to that was a really nice Mark III XR3 Cabriolet, another lovely looking car, bigger RS wheels on it. Now this is quite rare. It was a Rover 220 GTI Turbo, 200 brake horsepower, out of a British Leyland K series. Absolute stunning car, done a lot of miles this I believe. I know the cousin of the owner, he just flashed over it with paint, but his intention is to do a full restoration on it, body underneath, nut and bolt. What a cracking looking car, and real straight as a die. So it'll be nice to see that once it's fully restored. There's Andy's Quantum in metallic green and my XR2. They're both XR2 based vehicles. Obviously mine is an XR2, but Andy's is the earlier CVH engine with the two bolts in the rocker cover. Mine's the air filter, because you've got the earlier carbon pre-86 car, and mine's the later one with the different carburetor on with the three fixings for the air filter. But basically the same engine, just a little bit more output in Andy's earlier one. But yeah, that was a good run out for us. Next to that was a beautiful little short wheelbase 1983 Land Rover. Nice little bit of a tub that was. And then this was the Mazda 6, which looks very much like the Ford Probe. I think it was when Mazda and Ford joined teams together. Next to this was a nice little silver VW Beetle. I think it was a Mexican import, looking at the reg. Real nice car, straight, late dash in it, right hand drive. Beautiful car, with Basto roof as well. Really well presented. Another little Land Rover. This was a Minter as well for a 76. Looked totally original. Really good. And then this was an R36 VW Estate. Beautiful car. It was actually running. I've switched the sound off from the show because I didn't have my microphone, so it was very blowy, so I just sort of do a voiceover, but it sounded sweet as a nut. But that Land Rover was a stunner, absolute cracking car. Next to that there's a little Mark I Golf GTI convertible, Heinz must have been German, maybe his owner. Then this little Metro on a 81 on a W. Look, a bit rally prepared, had a roll cage in it, a bit dusty inside, so it's obviously been used for rallying. But yeah, it's a good car. It looked pretty solid, even though it looked tatty on the body. It was really solid when you got close up to it. So it's obviously been well used and abused. And then this is a little HA Viva that the chap there with the hat in the background, Ray owns. He bought that out of a barn, brought it out of a barn. He's never touched it. It's an absolute genuine barn find. Next across the line was a little Peugeot 205 Mardi Gras. We had a 106 at Mardi Gras. They did these in blue and red. This is the blue version. It's got the 1.6 GTI alloys on. Great little car, these. Little petrol engine one. And then there's another little Metro here. I think this is Ray's son's car. I forgot the lad's name, but it's a real nice car. Early Metro in Old Lady beige with alloy wheels on it. You'll notice the difference with the other one. Earlier on, the headlamps don't have the indicators at the side. The early one was a Mark 1.5, like the MG Turbo next to it. Then this is a lovely XKR Jag in red, and it only had 50,200 miles on it. V8, beautiful engine, really well presented, obviously well cared for, and looks stunning in red. I must admit, I do like a red car, and particularly a Jag. Although it looks a bit cheap, the absolutely stunning looking thing. This is a very early 2CV, 1965. Stephen there's the owner of the white 2CV, which we'll see later in the video, but that was a proper genuine car. It looked like it'd been wiped over with an oily rag to get the shine. And then there's another XK Jag there. That one was for sale. And then we had this Viva HC. Looked pretty well, but the paint was a bit hand painted, should we say. The bonnet looked like it had been jumped all over. I don't know what they'd done with it, but it was still there, and it's been there for years and years, this vehicle, so it's still good to see. And this was unusual to see. I've not seen one of these before. These Daihatsu 4-track, absolute stunning car, little diesel 4-cylinder, but really, really good condition. Very, very well looked after. And then we've got the beautiful white TR6. It looked like an old English white sort of colour, or whatever Triumph's colours did. Very blinged up underneath, fuel injected. Not so keen on the chrome, a bit too much chrome for my liking, but didn't detract away from the body of the car. It was an absolute stunner. The next row, there's a little black Z3, nice little car, and a Golf R. Not sure why that was there, but he's always an enthusiast. This was beautiful, this little silver Saxo VTR. I do like these cars. They were a great car in the day. VTS was even better with a 16 valve, but an absolute stunning car that was. As was this Mercedes SL here. It was a real unusual metallic green colour, but oh my god, it was really well presented. Very, very well cared for. Absolutely stunning. Must be quite rare in that colour. Probably not a colour I would choose, but it did suit it. And then there's a nice XJ Jag next to that. That was another stunning car in a metallic red. This was a lovely Toyota MR2 T-Bar, finished in a metallic blue. Really well, another well cared for car, 2 litre 16 valve, all leather trim in it, manual. Really, really nice. I do like these. My brother had a red one many years ago and lent it to one of his girls, friends he was knocking around with, and she stuffed it up for him. But hey ho, things happen. Here's a nice little 72 Spitfire Mark IV. Roof was a bit tatty on this, but apart from that, the car was quite a good car. Finished in dark blue. Really nice little thing. I can never really gel with him though. I think he sits a bit too low to the ground for me. Next along the line was another XK. There's quite a few of these here. This one was for sale. I think it was about £6,500 if I recall, but this was a 4 litre one. I think the other ones were 4 litre V8 as well, but real nice car. Now, I am a Mercedes lover, and this was absolutely stunning. I wouldn't have had the white walls on it personally, but the car was immaculate. 6-potter, automatic. What a stunning SL car that was. Very, very early, straight as a die. This was a lovely car here, this little VW GT Polo. Quite rare, you don't see them very often. And the Mark II Golf next to it. Early one, the small bump one, was another stunning car. I think they obviously knew each other, I think, because they'd parked next to each other. Next to that was this little Wolseley 1660, I think it is. The old B series, another cracking car, really, really well looked after. Proper old tub. Unfortunately, some of them used to get used for banger racing, but that one had survived, and it was lovely in beige and maroon. Now this was nice, the Mark II Cortina race engine vehicle, 1600 GT engine in it, the crossflow. Cracking car, I've seen this before, really, really well presented. Now this was a very early 1600E, which I didn't think it was at first because it didn't have a vinyl roof on, but reading the document at the side there, it said it was an early one, and it had some Mark 1 stuff on a crossover. Probably that's why it didn't have the vinyl roof on it, but 1600 again, crossflow, great engine, that Kent engine, and yeah, it was a real nice car, and a very, very early one, which was lovely to see. And they look well together next to each other, one race car and one sort of standard car. Swiftly moving back to the next car, which is a Morris Minor. It had a very unusual paint job. I didn't get it really. I would have painted all the wings at the front black, not just a stripe. I think it would have blended in a lot better because that's what they did with the back. But it was a real nice car, just wanted all the wings painted for my liking. Now this was lovely, this Wolseley automatic Land Crab in a dark green, and it had a real vibrant, should we say, interior. It would have been a nightmare to keep clean, that like a mango velour, I think is the only way to describe it. But yeah, cracking car, automatic, really, really good car. Next to that was a lovely Corrado. I followed this car in, it's a stunner. It's on her ride because it wasn't as low as that, and that's the owner there with the Adidas top on. But yeah, lovely car. Now this Mark II Cortina is not standard. It says 3 litre E, but it's actually fitted with a 3 litre BMW engine and box, and it's absolutely cracking car. Been really well done. There's the Corrado, yeah, sitting really low, so it's definitely on her ride because there's no way it would have got him. Next to the Mark II is the little A30 with a Hayabusa engine, cracking car that was, and this nice red 944 Porsche on a J. I do like these, and they're quite reasonably priced at the moment. Now, one of my favourites is this P6 finishing Admiralty Blue. This was a saloon version, 1970. Prime Minister's car in the past, cracking car, proper Rover. Now this Mercedes was nice. It was in like an ivory white colour, automatic, cracking car, real good condition. And these are starting to come up in price a bit. It's a little 200. I'm not sure if it was a petrol or diesel. The bonnet wasn't open, but if it was a diesel, it probably slow as a snail. This SL was another stunning colour and stunning car. Really, really well presented. These Mercedes owners certainly look after their vehicles. But you can see from the modern ones to the earlier SL up there, everything's covered in plastic and to disguise everything. I like seeing the engine personally, but hey, that's the way it is. Nice Mark II Astra GTE, I presume it's white and it's got private plates on. Little BMW convertible there, and then this Volvo Estate. This was a cracking car, really, really had a lot of love gone into this engine bay, and the car itself, it was absolutely spotless. Big old tub, probably run for 300,000 plus miles with very little ongoing repairs apart from general maintenance, but cracking car. Now next to that was a beautiful 1965 Austin Mini Cooper, I think this was, or was it a Morris, I can't remember. No, it's a Morris Mini Cooper. Beautiful car. I saw this a couple of years ago when I was here, and it doesn't look no different. Dove grey with a Snowberry white roof, and then a later E-Class Mercedes next to that. Another great car, a modern Focus, and then the Maserati V8. I'm not sure what model it is, whether it's a Ghibli or whatever they're called, but I do like these, and it was silver that, but it looks almost white. It was obviously a pearlescent silvery white, but beautiful looking car. But I can imagine they're just quite expensive to maintain. Quickly moving on to the next row, lovely Rover 75, again in silver, 51 plate. I do like these cars. And then next to that was a beautiful TR7 V8. Not sure it was a factory one, bronzy colour. I don't like the colour-coded door mirrors. I think they should have been black really, but apart from that, beautiful car. My dad used to work on them in the 80s. Does need the boot badges putting on. Next, that's a nice Jaguar 4.2. I think that was a Series 2, might be wrong, but it's a high roof one. Probably one of the less desirable ones, and it's in left-hand drive, so I suppose if you're on the continent it's great. Nice little Subaru WRX there. Now this is my friend Dave's Mini, just waving there, the chap there in the back, Bomb. He's just had this fully restored, and the guy's done a cracking job of it. Craig Webb Restorations up in Chorley Way. Beautiful, a nice paint job done by a lad on it. Whoever painted it done a cracking job, but it's really well presented. He's had this 13 years now, Dave, and it's his wife's car and she absolutely loves it. This is a little Rover 216 1993, owned by my friend who used to live in my dad's street, or still lives in my dad's street, Norman. There he is in the picture just on the left. It's an automatic, quite a rare one. There's only about 40 of them registered. But there he is. It's his pride and joy. He absolutely loves it. He's a proper Rover man, is our Norman. And yeah, ex-bus driver. Nice Mark 5 Escort there. And then this Mark 4 Escort was for sale. I think it was a $3,500 or something, 3,250. Quite a straight car. I'm not sure whether it was a little bit overpriced or underpriced or just right. I wouldn't know. I'm not really into the pricing. Lovely now, Lancashire Integrale, left-hand drive. This was one of 3 on site, 2 white ones and a red one. Carbon fibre bonnet on it. And then here's a James Bond Lotus Esprit, I think it is. Beautiful car, really nice. Well finished, sounded beautiful. And then we've got the 3 litre Carlton there, the engine buried right back in the bulkhead. Cracking car that was. Really nice, proper car when Vauxhall built cars properly. Then we've got the big American car. Next to that we've got the little Austin Cooper. Now this was a stunner, absolutely beautiful. All the wings had spot welds on, proper car, lovely interior, snow blue white, black roof with the red and grey brocade interior. It had new carpets by Newton, giveaway because it got heel pads in both sides, which I think really spoils it. Newton need to get the finger out and get that sorted, but yeah, beautiful car. And then one of my favourites, it was a copy, of course, it's the 356 Porsche. I would love that. I'd swap one of my Elman imps for one of them. So moving on, there's a nice Alpha. I'm not sure what it was, but it's a big car. I've seen one of these on wheeler dealers. It's quite a rock box, so it's nice to see one still on the road and not a rust bucket. Next to that's a lovely little 71 Morris Traveller. I've met this chap before up at Leighton Hall. He's from Blackpool area with his dad. Real nice car, probably one of the last ones. I think they finished him on a K on 72. Then there's a nice Honda S2000 next to it. I do like them. There's another Subaru there, but one of my favourites, a P6 V8 3500S. Very unusual blue. I don't think I've ever seen one in this blue. It almost looks like a police car coloured blue from the 70s. Although I don't think it was a police car because they were darker Corsica blue. But real nice car that. And I bet that sounded beautiful, a big V8. Original Bury dealer sticker stamp in the back. Real nice car. Moving along a bit further, there's a lovely MGB Roadster, chrome bumper one, 1972-73, mini Ross lights on it. And then this Series S6 Scimitar convertible with a 3 litre Ford Essex engine in it. Real nice car them, and they're quite rare these days, especially the convertible versions. So the next row had this nice Vitesse in white with a red stripe. I do like them, they sound absolutely beautiful. A 6-cylinder Triumph engines with the twin carbs. I think that's a Mark II. Next to that was a nice Stag that was in a dark green. Seen this a few times around the shows over the years, but I've not seen it for quite a while, so whether they've been doing a little bit of restoration work, I don't know. And then there's a lovely Mini ERA Turbo convertible in blue. And it's a lovely car, and I think if I can recall back on the documentation, I think you can see it, there was only about 200 or so made. Went out to 700 dealers, so they all didn't get one, obviously, because I'm no mathematician, but it doesn't add up, does it, if that's the case. But yes, it was a great looking car. And this early Mark 1, or Series 1, should I say, Land Rover was a stunner. I'm not sure this is one I've seen before, but absolute cracking vehicle that. Really well looked after. Nice to see. Now this was lovely, this little 1960 Austin Healey frog-eyed sprite. It looked good later on in the show when they put the bonnet down after we had a little bit of a downpour. Nothing much, but lovely car, white, old English white with a red roof. Now this is another stunner. I've seen this many times up at St Catherine's Hospice, but this is a P5B, silver birch roof with the Admiralty blue lower body. Beautiful car. A guy I worked for many years ago had one of these, same colour, similar sort of year, and they're just a great car. They drive like you're on her. Now this was beautiful, this Toyota Crown. It was a power glide one, automatic. Absolute stunner, 2-car. Must be one of the rarest cars here. Beautiful car. I've seen this many years, and I bet that drives wonderful, especially on the motorway. Next to that's a converted chrome bumper MGB Roadster. Looks like pageant blue, that sort of colour. And then next to this was a lovely TVR Chimera. Now I always get these wrong, but I did check it, and it was a Chimera. It's a beautiful metallic, sort of pinky red colour with a beautiful cream interior. Absolute stunner. And I would have liked that. I would have rocked that. Really, really nice. Now this Cobra was beautiful, fuel injected V8, and very subtle darker blue stripe in it, which you can just see between the two red lines. If the two red lines, pinstripes weren't there, you wouldn't have seen it, but absolutely stunning job. They made a lovely job of it, and I presume it must be pretty new. This was a Talbot Manchuria, really rare car, this left-hand drive, and another probably one of the rare cars with the Toyota. 3 seats in the front, which is must be a real weird feeling, that driving with 2 passengers next to you. But beautiful car, great reg as well on it, on the Y plate. Next to that was a stunning 2.8 Capri 280. It was beautiful in metallic green, just looked like it come out the factory. Saw the gentleman who owned it polishing it before, and it's credit to him. It's a real stunner, that beautiful. There was a few Capris further in the video, but not as nice as that one. That was probably the best one there, and they had a beautiful paint job, looked all original. Calibra, don't see them very often in metallic blue. That was another good car from Vauxhall. And then the Austin Healey 3 litre, I think it was a Mark 2 or Mark 3, I can't quite remember. Blue over cream, wire wheels, beautiful. And finally on this row there was another Mark 5 Escort Cabriolet, early one, because it had the 1600 CVH in it. Just up there's a little single wing plane flying over. I don't know if they was doing some footage of the show, but it was quite nice. But yeah, it's a XR3 fuel injected, very similar to what Andy's got in his latest Quantum. But he's just got the aluminium intake rather than the plastic. But real nice car that was, and good to see it, especially with the roof down. So moving up to the next row, and here's my friend Stephen's Burgess's 2CV Beachcomber. This was done by Car SOS about 5 years ago, and it looks like it was still just done yesterday. And next to that was this 1988 Cavalier LXI, quite a rare car, silver all over, colour-coded door mirrors, absolute cracker. I don't think there's a lot of these about. Had Recaro seats in it, but it was a beautiful car, and it's a long time since I've seen one of these. These were like I think they were the next step down to the SRI. It was an injected one, but it wasn't probably didn't have the sporty suspensions the SRI had, but a great car. And reading the documents, there's not a lot of the LXI ones around. I think they're maybe into single figures. Well, yeah, it's a stunning car, but it looked well next to Stephen's 2CV. Really good to see them together. As you can see, this was the lower field. The very, very far cars were all the punters coming in, and these were all the people who had either pre-booked or paid on the door. So what we did then, once we'd had a quick chat to my friend Darren there, we went up to the top field. So this is the top field. A few cars down the hill there, which we'll come on to shortly. But first we'll just start off with this bit of a Ford stand. This was an ST200 Mondeo, all blinged up with LEDs everywhere and stickers, very acquired taste. Next to that there was an RS ST Focus, and then this was little XR3 iCabriolet, which was another one for sale. There's quite a few for sale. There was no price on that, so he probably wanted, I don't know, maybe 10 grand plus, who knows. Also 2 litre S Capri next to it, that was also for sale. But there was a good turnout of Capris here at this show, as you'll see in a minute, just a bit further up. This was a lovely Bristol 2 litre 4-cylinder, and I loved the way the spur wheel is tucked away underneath the wheel arch, out the way, so giving you more space in the boot. 3 carburettors on it. Not sure whether it's a massive brake horsepower, but this was built between 55 and 58, I think it said. But it's a cracking car, and I can imagine it's real nice to drive on a long journey. But probably very old-fashioned as well. Not sure they were built from bits of everything else. Looks like a door handle from a BMC on there, so maybe bits and bats. But look at that. It could do with a decent manifold on, so it could breathe a bit better, and you probably get some real good power out of that. Next to that was a Porsche Speedster 356, and I thought this was a genuine one at first, but it was actually a fiberglass vehicle when I felt under the arches. But oh my, absolute beauty. I really would have one of them. It's a bit out of my price bracket at the moment, but stunning car, real lovely red leather interior, red roof with the grey, really great colour combination. I'm not sure what year it's based on though, because they had different lights in different positions on them. So a little bit further up the field was a selection of other car clubs. So this is a really tidy E30 2-door next to the XR4i Sierra in silver, Stratos silver, 1983, lovely car. And then there was a RS Escort 16i. These are another great looking car, fetching good money at the moment. There's obviously a club member with a little Corsa there. Then these were a real nice Integrale, left-hand drive on a H in white, stunning little car that. And then there's a Chris Hayes' Mark II Escort. I think he's recently acquired it. He had it many years ago and he's bought it back, and he's just put some RS alloys on it, but I think he's going in for a little bit of paintwork. And then there's a lovely R32 Golf there, Mark V, and then a nice Capri Laser on an 87, and then a 2.8 Capri in red. All these had sunroofs. The one I had years ago was an ex-police car with no sunroof in it, from 4-speed. Nice Mercedes CLK there. Nissan Note, part of the group, so I suppose it's got to be there. And then there's a Sierra 4x4 hatchback, quite a rare car. You don't see very many of them these days. And then there's a lovely 88 Orion 1600i gear. Lovely car this, and probably just as good as the Escort, but a bit longer with the boot on it. But same sort of running gear, but absolute stunner. And that Sierra was in great condition. So there's a good selection of cars. This was a kit car next to it. So that was the Lancashire Classic Car Club. We just looked at, but next to it was this kit car, like I say, and it was based on a Triumph Herald. It has a badge on the bulkhead there, which I did zoom in and try and get. Badge is an MG, but it's actually a Triumph Herald engine, so I presume it's all Triumph Herald running gear. Looks like it's fiberglass with them strengthening pads, unless he's put them under the bonnet to give them a bit of strength. But yeah, basically it's a Herald. You can just see it there, Triumph Herald, and chassis commission number, chassis number. But a nice little car. Now this Singer, oh my, this was absolutely beautiful. Metallic. Oh, sorry, metallic. It was a maroon colour with wire wheels. Absolutely, that was a genuine car, 1930s. Stunning car, really well detailed engine bay. I bet that was beautiful to drive down the country lanes at 25-30 mile an hour. Have a great bit of fun in it. But it was immaculate. The interior, with proper motoring of the 30s, and you can just imagine going from a horse and cart early on up to something like this. It's just absolutely fantastic. But yeah, beautiful, stylish looking car that was. Just moving on to the other side of the road, and this was the Capri Club. So there's a selection of Mark 1s, Mark 2s and Mark 3s. So this silver grey one was a 2 litre S Mark 3, nice looking car. The black one was a 3 litre S, real nice car, quite a nice engine. That had just nipped round to it, but it had a little bit of bling on it, but not too much. Ellenbrook carburettor, and it had the Ford Racing alloy rocker covers, but alloy radiator to keep it cool, produce a bit of heat. The bronze one there was another 3 litre S, little Focus ST next to it, RS next to it, and then a beautiful genuine RS 2000 on a T-plate. Looked really original. It was nice to see it untouched really, with the original airbox on and the bulkhead deadening and the battery cover. Not sure whether that was just an extra they've added on, but yes, lovely car. Probably should have had the wheels painted black in the centres, but hey ho. Sapphire Cosworth Saloon in white, another stunning car, really nice. Looked like it's been lowered slightly. Oh, they got a load of stuff in the boot. But yeah, it was an unusual colour, the bronze Capri. I don't think I've ever seen one in that colour. Whether it's original colour, I assume it is, with the sort of checkered, bronzy coloured seats. But yeah, good looking car. Early 2.8 Capri there on an X. Caspian blue over silver, and then you've got the other Capri 280. Very similar to the one down the bottom of the field, but the one at the bottom of the field, I think, my personal opinion, was probably slightly better than that one. But it's there anyway, and it doesn't matter because they're all great cars. Another 2.8 injection Capri had the mini light wheels on. I would have preferred him with the pepper pots. A little bit of corrosion on the bonnet on that one, but all in all, still a nice car, which I would have took away if it was available. Mark 1 here in blue, manual. I think that was a 3 litre, if I'm not mistaken, but you can see how they changed, and it had the early Few Orange air freshers, which are like gold dust to get, and somebody really needs to start reproducing them because they'd sell like hotcakes. Maybe it's something I should think about doing. Who knows? But where you'd start, I wouldn't know. Then there's the only Mark 2 Capri here on an R. You can see the difference with the rectangular headlamps opposed to the circular ones on the later one. That had RS alloys on as well. And then there's a Mark, I think it's a Mark 1.5, this, with the twin headlamps. It was a 3 litre V6 Essex engine. And great looking car, that, again on mini lights. Maybe I probably wouldn't have gone for gold. Maybe it looked better with a black centre to match the roof. But it's their choice, and still a nice vehicle. And another 2 litre S Capri in white. That was another stunning car. Some real good cars there, and most Capris I've seen in one spot. This was over the back of them was a Jaguar 3.8 Mark II, one of my all-time classic favourites. I would absolutely love one of these. To me, this was the only proper genuine Jaguar in this selection here. There was a lot of modern stuff, but absolutely stunning manual vehicle. Yeah, wire wheels, proper gangster car, which used to be used by the baddies, should we say, in the 60s, but great car. But there's a couple of XJKs down there. Like I say, all a bit too modern for me, but I'm sure they drive brilliantly. But if you had to pick one out of that, and probably most people, it would be the Mark II 3.8. Far left to go now. We head over to the back wall, and this was the CAF cars of Friends. So down the bottom here was a 72 or 71, 72 BGT. This was the I had one of these in blue and had this grille on. They only made them for 2 years, 72 and 73. I think it was quite rare. Then there's a lovely little VW camper here with a pop top with a red and white striped pop top, nice car. Van, sorry, and then an XK, and then a modern Suzuki. And then there's a Vauxhall VX, I think it was a Victor or something, 1800cc, real clean looking car, very unusual, or as an estate version, probably quite rare these days because I don't think they lasted very long, or they got used and abused as probably vans with it being an estate. Just plop the seats down, but huge estate, 1800cc, yeah, Vauxhall 1800, lovely vehicle. Just a little bit further up, we had a nice MGB GT rubber bumper, great reg on it, MGB, and then a nice black XR3. These chaps here decided they would just do some stupid revving for all the young kids, and they should know better, but not doing any harm, but it was a bit noisy, and quite a few people, I think it might have just disturbed slightly. But anyway, moving on. Back to this, it was a beautiful XR3. We used to have one of these, very early ones, carbureted, real nice looking car this was, with the early air filter on it. Different carburetor than the My Fiesta, which I like one, and the clover leaf alloys. Real nice car that. Next that was a Mark V Escort, and then there was a nice Mark IV XR3i in white. looked pretty standard, which was lovely to see. Now this was for sale, this 1985 XR3i Cabriolet, and I think he wanted about £13,000. A lot of money. Is it worth it? Yes, and probably no. It's worth what someone's prepared to pay. It did look like a nice car, but I didn't get underneath to have a look at it. I didn't speak to the chap, so it could be well worth the money. It may be vastly overpriced. I wouldn't know. Moving around the field a bit more, these were all the Ford Mustangs. They did, like I said earlier, they decided they would be a bit childish and rev their engines, much to the annoyance of some people, but the young kids loved it, so it kept them happy for 5 minutes and not really did any harm. But it's not well received in the shows because people don't particularly like that, especially the organisers, and then it ends up causing problems for everybody. A couple of early ones, a Camaro there, and an early Mustang, and then we've got the Marlin, and then the Jaguar long wheelbase on a R plate. Lovely looking car that was, real straight and white, great wedding car, and then a little Mazda next to it. Just nipping down the line a bit more, picked up this lovely XR3 RS Turbo. Had the wheels polished aluminium rather than powder coated, which looked really nice. I bet they're stunning when they were flying around, but yeah, beautiful looking car. Just further down, heading towards the exit now, there was this old obsessive classic car club. Some real nice stuff there, a lot of VWs, a few modern things. There's a nice Mini over the back there, a lovely interior, quite a nice paint job on it. Big flared arches. I'm not so keen on them with the big flared wheel arches. They tend to track in the road, especially with the conditions of the roads these days. It's not the car's fault, it's just what we deal with, isn't it, every day. And the Lake Golf and the Seat there. So quite a good selection. Nice V5 Golf. That was a very clean car. That also looked like it was on air with it being sat so low down. If it wasn't, it must go through bumpers like there's no tomorrow. But it's definitely got to be on air ride, that. Then there was a few Jaguars here, a bit modern stuff. There's a nice little E-Type round the back there, quite a late one, Series 3, and then this two-door coupe, which was a stunner, finished in blue on an R, 1976, I think 4.2 litre. But yeah, great looking car, really, really nice presented as well. Homeward straight now, just on further down the entrance, nice little VW car in gear in white, beautiful. Mark 1 MR2 in white with a grey bottom, beautiful looking car. MGB GT V8 in damask red, another stunning car. I've seen that around some of the local shows. Nice little British Racing Green Sprite, or Midget, might be a Sprite actually, on a J, and then a standard BGT with chrome wires, 1969. This Jaguar, I think it's a D-Type Roadster, must have been a copy. If it wasn't, it's worth a fortune, but lovely looking car. And then this little 924 and an A, these are coming up in value now because they're sort of an entry-level Porsche, because 911s are getting out of hand on price, but cracking car. A couple of Jags here, or another Jag XK there, and then the final Lancia Integrale. This was a rally prepared version, and I heard it go off, sounded beautiful, and both left-hand drives. I think that was a chap there with the red on it. Now here's one for my mate Gary Totka, Quantum H4, which was for sale. Needed some work. He wanted £3,000. The guy I spoke to him, he thinks he's probably worth about 2.5. I'd probably say more like £1,500 personally. It did look quite shiny on the video footage, but believe me, it wasn't. It was very flat, needed a right good buffing. Headlamp was a bit steamed up, so it was obviously weeping water in through the seal. Needed a bit of recommissioning in my eyes, but I believe it was an 1800 twin cam engine out of the latest XR3Is. Door sealed, needed replacing, probably quite a few bits. Probably wanted a repaint, to be honest, because I don't think you would have got it back. The finish, it was just very, very dull. But having said that, quite a good car. I think there was missing a 0 off the number or something. I know it was on the it looks like he wants 295 quid for it, but he didn't. There's our mate Darren's Zodiac, this the whale car we call it. Had this years and years, 2.6 litre 6-cylinder, massive. He also has a Zephyr Estate, which is even bigger. Here's an early 75 Range Rover 2-door in green, quite rare these on the early ones. And then to finish off, the lovely HB Viva, beautiful in pale blue. I've seen this a few times around the shows. Absolute stunning car, and really, really well presented, and everything was right on it, chromed a lot. Little BMW there. And then finally the couple of American stuff. There's the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, the proper one with the T-bar roof. Great looking car. These 6.6 litre. I think it was the same size engine as what they had, because they had a big engine in it as well. Looks like it's 1979, registered in the UK. Lovely car. I would love to own one of these. I don't know what they like to drive. You imagine they're very good. But who knows? Never driven one, and probably never will, and probably never own one. And then this monster truck here, it's nearly taller than me, and I'm only short, but gee whiz, it was huge. You'd struggle in the UK to find a parking spec in the supermarket. And then finally this little Renault electric whizzy thing. So hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll catch up on the next one. Take care, see you all soon.